It's been a long time since I've seen Balto. I really liked this movie as a kid. I was afraid that I wouldn't like Balto because as I've grown older, I find that I'm not as big a fan of animated movies as I used to be. Not that I won't watch animated movies, but they just don't hit the same way for me anymore. Because I was more than willing to see Balto again, and Finding Nemo is one of my favorite movies. Anyway, I was really afraid that I wouldn't like Balto because I thought that I would have outgrown it at this point. I'm glad to say that I'm wrong. A really minor complaint I have is that I thought that the beginning and the opening scene where they filmed live action footage of the old lady and her granddaughter, it just didn't fit into this very well. I don't know why they chose to do that because I would have liked to see the artist's rendition of Central Park. I don't know if they did that to emphasize that this was a true story, but if they really wanted to emphasize that Balto's story was a true story, then they shouldn't have been factually inaccurate about what the real story was. That aside, I really did enjoy the movie. I think that it was a well-written movie, and that I would actually like to watch it again. At some point. It is a very well-written script. As a kid, I never really understood dialogue or stories for that matter, but I am far more appreciative of that stuff now that I've grown up a little bit. The writing of Balto in general was pretty good. A great example is this. When Balto, Boris, Muck, and Luck went out to search for the team, they were met by a wild bear, and Balto was almost killed, but he was saved by a deus ex machina named Jenna. But that same deus ex machina was also the thing that made things even harder for Balto to continue on his journey. Because during the fight with the bear, Jenna broke her front leg. So as a result, Balto tells Boris Muck Luck to take Jenna back to town. I think that if Jenna had been with Balto as he found Steel and the other dogs, it would have made things a little bit easier for Balto to convince Steel to let him take the medicine back to town because of Steel's affection for Jenna. But without Jenna there, Steel had no one in front of him that he needed to please, and he hated Balto, so he was going to give Balto a hard time about taking the medicine back. The way that they made it pretty difficult for Balto was really well thought out. It was the perfect moment for him to face his dragon. The storytelling was excellent. For instance, the scene where Balto was watching the man making the children-sized coffins, I thought was a really great visual to show us and Balto in order to let us know how dire the situation was. But the scene I liked the most was when Balto was met by the white wolf in the blizzard. I truly thought that scene was absolutely gorgeous. Balto is a movie that I thought was good as a kid, but now that I'm older, I find it even better as an adult. The writing is great, the visuals are great, and the voice acting is fantastic. I recommend watching this at least once. Balto gets 4.5 stars out of 5.